Welcome to the ITM podcast.
This is episode 275 of the ITM podcast, the official Boston Red Sox podcast of the CLNS Media Network, brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and the Boston Red Sox. Don't get swept. My name is Joey Copponi. That's Scott Neville. Scott, how you doing?
I'm good, dude. It's another episode where both of us are fully bearded up. So it's like just another of those things where sometimes we dress the same, sometimes we got like two full like grown man beards. So it's good.
Yeah, dude, you're looking fucking grizzly, may I say.
Mm-hmm.
You look like a can of grizzly wintergreen.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So the Red Sox did exactly what we asked of them, dude, which is pretty sick because we were like, oh, I'd love to have an episode where we can talk about the documentary because the doc is dropping and it's dropping in the middle of a Blue Jays series. This series is going to matter. This series is going to be good. It wasn't good, so therefore we're going to say it didn't matter. They scored 7 runs in the whole series. They lost 3 games in a row. The offense, non-existent, and everybody looked miserable. The game shouldn't count when everybody's wearing a hood, but that's what happened. So they have given us a golden opportunity to talk about 18 seconds about the games and then move on. Any thoughts about the games?
They got a walk-off there at the end. That was cool.
Right. Trevor, a walk-off error.
It was hey, that's a platinum glover, right? That's a hit.
It is insane that's how it had to go. But it's like with the offense the way it was, that's what it kind of took. That's what you needed to get that done there.
Technically, you got the out, so not an error.
Right. Just a walk-off RBI fielder's choice.
Just a fielder's choice. He just chose to go to first instead of home.
Defensive indifference let
right.
Why did he throw to first?
I mean, it was, I don't know, there was a walk-off either way. Like, he was already, David Hamilton had already scored. Yeah, I guess you just, like, I think naturally in the game, you just try and make, like, for example, if you butcher something that's supposed to be a double play, you just get the out at first. And I think that's kind of what it, like, naturally, it's like, okay, we didn't get the play at home, let me just go to first, even though it was over. Yeah. I don't know.
Once Hamilton crosses the plate, the game's over, though. So, story wasn't
but maybe he...
Right?
Right, yeah, maybe that's why it ended, actually. Yeah, I don't remember if he got out or not. I thought he made it, but then I saw the game. You know what, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if his only shot to answer your question would have been if he had gotten the out before this. But there was only 1 out when he was up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm super wrong. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. I guess I'm drunk. I don't know what happened.
No, you are. You look at you smell. I can smell it on you. That was about the most interesting thing of the series. Some big moments that never came to fruition, some weird lineup stuff, but I'm not going to get into all that. I will say this. What we're not going to do is freak out all year when Alex Cora gets platoon guys and specialty guys into games in specialty situations. It's like, oh, you're going to sit Willier right now? Yeah, that's okay. He's on a hot streak. I know. He's like the best hitter in baseball right now. I know. I'm sure it was a conversation, 1. And 2, you got to be getting those other guys reps regularly. It's how the team is built. If that happens in September, maybe that's a different story. Scott?
I think it's interesting that the 2 conversations I saw on Twitter this week were the series were that. I couldn't believe how many people were mad. I get that it's early overreaction time, but it was as if one lineup had determined that Willier and Casas were platoon players. And I think that was a crazy overreaction. It's one of those things where it's like, say you did want to get Willier a day. somewhere in this stretch. Like, that's usually how it works. Like, we need to get him a day soon. Obviously, he's going to pick the lefty. Like, that's okay. Like, if he takes 10 games off, it makes sense for those 10 games to be against lefties. That does not make him a platoon hitter. That's just good usage. And Cora has always used the earlier days in the season to get extra rest. Like, he tends to give people days off earlier in the season. And then we kind of get into a stretch where it gets warmer and they play every day. The other argument that was all over Twitter for some reason is a lot of debates about how different the weather is between April and October, and I didn't understand that one either.
That's not where I thought you were going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so much talk about April versus October.
Yeah, I mean, I get. Well, because Cora said the thing. Do you see the Cora quote where he was like, everybody complains about it being cold in April, but they never do in October. And yeah, I mean, I get the sentiment. I mean, what he's saying is like, hey, you don't mind the cold when you're in the postseason, huh? But yeah, I mean, it sucks. The weather sucks. I don't know. What are you supposed to say there? So I don't know. It's just kind of a weird.
Well, that's fine. I just think it's funny that people were like, well, it's actually a little bit warmer in October, so that's why we don't mind it. Like, as if it wasn't like they took away the playoff part and they were like, well, actually, it can tend to touch 50 in October at night. So it's actually
fall chill versus the spring showers. Are you kidding?
It's 8 degrees warmer, so that's actually why we're not crying. It doesn't have to do with the ALCS. Alex.
I did not see that. I saw the original quote. I didn't see people actually going into a tizzy about it. I thought you were going to say a lot of talk about Pete Fatsie. Like a lot of people like big mad at the Red Sox hitting coach because of a series and a half where their bats are slow. But like, again, it's so fucking cold, you guys. Go outside right now. Go outside for 3 hours. No jacket. Go outside for 3 hours. And you can layer up a little bit. You wear like a Under Armour shirt under a short sleeve shirt and just sit out there. It fucking sucks. It sucks. And to play baseball in Boston in April it shouldn't be a thing. And I was thinking about this in watching the doc, but also in watching the Boston Red Sox baseball games that took place during this very unfortunate week. Imagine growing up, Scott, in the Dominican Republic, in the Caribbean. You grew up in the Caribbean.
With pirates.
And your dream comes true. They bring you to the United States of America. They are like, you are going to play baseball for a living. We're going to give you millions of dollars. You are going to provide for your family. You're going to be a star. And you're on a team where a bunch of other Dominican stars have etched their names in the history books. And you get outside and it's 36 and windy. That must feel like another fucking planet. To anybody who does not grow up in this climate, this is Norway. I would imagine Norway actually probably does have a very similar climate. It's insane. So, I don't know. Everybody's breathing down Pete Fatsie's neck. It's like, the one series, they look a little shitty because it's frigid. They're swinging a frozen bat. Give them a break. I don't know. I put a lot of stock in the weather, I guess.
We used to have a guy here that did a lot of that.
Right.
We used to talk about the weather almost every episode. It was like, all right, man, we get it. It's raining out. And it's kind of off topic. Anyway, yeah, I agree. I think it's crazy to just like it's cold. Like, so what? Yeah, the runs are gonna go down. It happened for both sides.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's just such a who cares. Such a who cares. And I think people were making the other argument of like, oh, well, yeah, but they are getting paid millions and all this stuff, so just figure it out. It's like, no, it's still cold, though.
It's still cold for them, too. The thing that people forget about these guys, these players, these ball players, human bodies, all of them. Every single one of them, human body, heart, liver, spleen, all of it. They got all of it. Knees.
Yeah.
98.6 degrees. That's what you got to maintain. So Gets chilly out there. And it is so funny to me to like imagine like these guys grew up on a tropical island. Like a majority of these guys grew up on a tropical island and they are in Boston in April. That sucks. That absolutely sucks to try to play ball in. I want to talk about the doc because I think I'm the first person to finish it. It came out Tuesday. I finished it Wednesday afternoon. I stayed up Monday night. I thought it came out at midnight. Then I found out it came out at 3. And then I looked at the clock. It was 2. I was like, I guess I'm staying up and watching the first episode. So I went to bed at 4. And then I woke up and I started watching it again. So I like plowed through this thing, I think faster than anybody on the planet.
You took, that's a level of excitement I didn't expect out of you based on, I mean, we talked about it many times. It's in the middle of a season. Like, that's a bad idea. Maybe not, maybe middle is an exaggeration, but it's during the regular season. Like, why do I care about last year? You seemingly were the most excited about something of all time.
I had to go get a Netflix account. So I think the second that I like signed up for Netflix and put in my credit card, I was like, okay, I'm watching this thing and then I'm canceling it. So I was really into like, you know, I was like, I want to do it quick. I want to watch it fast, whatever.
Got it.
But then not that,
a month though.
Yeah, I have a month. But it was partly for the show. And then there's also, we'll get to it when we talk about it, but the first 2 episodes, unbelievable. So I was glued to it. And we'll talk about that. I want to talk about all of it. I think that's going to be like the focus of the majority of this show. After I tell you that Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Springtime is here and baseball season is officially underway, so don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or walk-off errors, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash today. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't need to win. You don't need to win to get the bonus. I'm tired of answering this question. People keep asking me, oh, so I need to win to get the... No, it's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Scott.
Taco Tuesday.
Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to add even more value to your lineup. He's starting to love Taco Tuesday, folks. You can hear it. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. The Clubhouse, a year with the Boston Red Sox. We talked, I don't want to say smack, but like our excitement certainly dwindled ahead of time because of the timing and because of, well, we watched the fucking season. Personnel is different. This year is way more exciting than last year was. The biggest headline of the doc dropped a day and a half before the documentary came out.
We knew already.
We did. I'll say this. I was a little stunned that somebody wrote about it before it came out. Like it was fucking, like somebody wanted to be first and get it. And I think it was Buck. And like, I respect Buck a lot, but still very weird to be like, I don't even know if it was him who did break it first, but somebody was like, I have to get this out there. It's like, we were prepping an article already. Like we were going to drop it when the doc dropped.
Right.
So as to not lead out ahead of it. Yeah. So it's probably the best place to start. Is with the Jaren stuff. Jaren, first of all, I mean, he's a main character in this story. There are exactly 2 main characters in this story, or 3. It is in this order: Jaren, Cassis, Bayo. Those are the 3 guys that are really followed throughout the doc. And the Jaren thing, it's a constant theme throughout all of the series. Like Jaren struggles. You know, Jaren has mental hurdles to get over. And at first they just kind of frame it like, yeah, he had a tough rookie year. Yeah, missed some balls. And then he got better. He got stronger. and he looks about 20 years older. And yeah, in episode 4, he tells the story that you all have seen by now, where he says, "Yeah, I put a rifle in my mouth and it clicked." And I'll tell you, watching him say it versus reading it, he drops it almost rather nonchalant. He does say it very much like, "Yeah, I did." And I don't know, because you read something, you imagine it, right? And it being this like big, deep, heavy, and I mean, it's a deep and a heavy thing to like admit, but he does drop it just like, yeah, I was there. It's very matter of fact. Like, yeah, no, I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to take my own life, and I tried to, and I didn't, but turned it around now. Certainly hasn't turned around Jaron's, whatever you want to call it, like just self-destructive speech. Absolutely rips himself apart, and like mic'd up on the field, just kicking his own ass. Clubhouse kicking his own ass to his teammates, being like, "Yeah, I suck." Jaron needs somebody. Jared needs therapy, but just needs a buddy too. Him seeing Justin Turner was a moment where kind of revealed their friendship a little bit, which a little bit of a shocker. Did you see them as buddy when JT was here?
Not at all. Not even like pregame or anything. I think the only one that really had been known, I feel like, was the Duran Story relationship. I think of those two. I don't think of Justin Turner.
Yeah, there was like a big part with like him seeing Justin Turner again, like Blue Jays come to town, and seeing JT and JD.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I had a couple of notes on Jared. Was just, the story of his attempt, his relationship with his dad is a big major focus. I wrote he needs somebody, and then near the end of the season, Scott, I'm not going to go through this thing blow by blow and like spoil things and whatever for people, but I will let you know the next 30 seconds to a minute is going to be a spoiler, because I think this is worth talking about, because there was a hint of leadership and maturity and whatever growth from Jaron at the end of the 2024 season. There is a moment in, I want to say it's August, September, when they're still in the wild card hunt. Like they still believe they have a shot. And they're in the dugout. And Jaron looks around and he's like, where are the other guys? Like, the IL dudes and whatever. So other guys, pitchers, people in the clubhouse, He's like, where are they? And somebody I think it's Ref Snyder is like, oh, they're down the tunnel. They're in the clubhouse. And he's like, what the fuck? They should be out here. Like, we're fighting for a playoff spot right now. And there's no video of it, but there's audio where Jaron goes back into the clubhouse and says, like, what are you guys doing? Like, we need you out there. Come on, guys, we need you. And he gets no response. And then he comes back out to the dugout and he's pissed. And somebody's like, what's up? And he says, Kenley's back there sitting in his fucking underwear. That's a real winning culture. Stunning. Ooh. Stunning, because I wondered, are they going to cover the whole Kenley quits on the team, Kenley's not there, Kenley leaves early shit? And they didn't exactly. But that was just this moment where Jaron was like, you know what? I'm going to take it in my hands. I'm not somebody who I don't deserve to be here. I suck. I'm going to, twist my own arm when I get off the field. He's like, nah, guys, come on. Rah, rah, let's fucking go. And then is visibly pissed. Like, why aren't they out here? They should fucking be here. Like a guy with a World Series ring is sitting back there twiddling his thumbs. I don't know. That really, really caught my attention. That was probably the biggest moment that I wanted to bring up here. Even though it's a spoiler and it's late in the show, I think it's worth talking about.
That's interesting to me because, you're talking about specifically Duran, a guy that played 160 games. And that's a guy that, no one was out there more just taking a beating than Jarren Duran. I mean, maybe Connor Wong in the taking a beating department, but like Duran led the team in innings by what I would imagine to be a good margin. And if anyone has a right to be like, are you guys serious right now? Like I don't take a break. I never take a break. And you guys are just like, we're a couple of games out, so it's like whatever. Like you guys are just gonna go home. Season's not over. That's crazy.
And like I said, it was like when they were still in the hunt, because he says to them, like, we're fighting for a playoff spot out there. Like, we need you. And it wasn't, game 160 where Kenley's like, yeah, I'm going home. Fuck this. Like, they were still in it. And yeah, I think he's completely in a position, one of your team's only all-stars to be. I forgot Raffy was an all-star last year. I really, in my mind, yeah, in my mind, it's Houck and Duran. But yeah, Devers was there too. Yeah, that was something for me. Scott?
Did they show anything from the All-Star game?
Yeah, lots of it.
Okay, because I was going to say, Mott's actually ran into them at the All-Star game, and I thought that was very
Mott's
interesting.
is not in it.
No, that's not my question. I just was curious if they used it because they... Steve had an interaction in July, or obviously at the All-Star game, where he's talking to these people, and this guy was like, "Yo, don't say anything. We're actually here filming the documentary." Steve was like, "You gotta get down here right now. They're filming the documentary." And I was like, "Did you?" He immediately was like, "Who do I know here, guys? They're filming the documentary down there. You gotta get down here."
You're like, no kidding. Also.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that they were hiding that.
Why are you hiding? Yeah, it's a documentary on the Red Sox, and one of the Red Sox stars you're following is in the All-Star game. Yeah, no, I mean, that was like a whole episode.
Was in there too.
Yeah, okay, I mean, listen, the show is Jarren Duran, Tristan Cassis, and sometimes Brian Bayo. That's
got it.
And Cora. But like, that's it. That's what it is. And yeah, I mean, there's a whole episode where Jarren All-Star, his parents are there. Scott?
You seem to be talking, but you obviously ran through the show. You did earlier, though, quickly mention, like, especially the first two episodes were good. Mm-hmm. Did you actually like the documentary? Like, what would you rate the documentary? Because as you said, I had all these concerns, but everything I've ever seen from that director, I've loved. So that was the only reason I didn't give up on this thing, was because of how much I've loved his past work. And for the Last Chance U stuff, it's the same kind of work. It feels like he has the formula.
First episode is unreal. Like, left the first episode, it cut to the credits, I had goosebumps. Like, not hyperbole, like, goosebumps down my arms. Like, oh my God. Like, this is so fucking good. Episode 2, same thing. I remember I sent a text to somebody that was like, I might DM Greg Whiteley, because like him and I had talked like when the project got announced, and I was like, I might DM Greg Whiteley and just to tell him like how amazing this is. And then Scott, do you remember last year around like August where we were like, God damn, I haven't seen the Netflix crew in forever.
Yeah.
And like all the reporters are like, yeah, they haven't been here in months. You can tell. And like, that's a bummer, but you can tell. If it continued at the pace that the first 2 episodes were at, it also would have been 15 episodes. But like, there's a lot of fluffer filler moments where you're like, why are we doing this? And it almost felt like they shot and edited like 9 intros to the series, and then they chose the one. And then when they didn't get a lot of footage, they were like, oh, we'll just sprinkle these other 8 throughout it, and just have people saying like, it's bigger than baseball in Boston. It's not about, I was there in 2004. I remember, my uncle took me a game I'll never forget. And it's like, what? They have a series against the Yankees right now in the middle of June. Like, where is that? What are we doing? So there was moments where it's like we aren't following the season. We're following a couple of players, and there's from somebody who watched it and was glued to it, like it's not totally following it. The defense to that being, do you need to follow this season like that closely? So, but there was definitely moments where it was like, okay, this is a whole episode dedicated to this. There was a bit. This is not spoiling anything, I promise. There was like a good bit, a good section about the family that provides the mud to Major League Baseball. You know what I'm talking about? Like the family in New Jersey, the baseball, the dirt, the mud. There was like a third of an episode that was like about the mud people. And I was like, that's not about the 2024 Boston Red Sox. That's about Major League Baseball's like resource allocation.
Well, to be fair, if you remember the second half part, they ran out of a budget, Netflix and the Fenway Sports Group. So there's only so much you can do when you run out of money as a corporation or a joint venture, I should say. So not much you do. He did say on Nessa that he would come back and do it again. I wish they would have done it this year, even though that was never the plan, because it would have been so much better this year. And I hope that maybe when the big three is up, they'll consider doing it again, depending on the success of this one. Although I don't know that the success of this one will be great because of just like that team.
I can't imagine it will, but also like the Red Sox fans are Red Sox fans. Like they're going to be glued to it, and baseball fans probably want to see it and then are going to vie for it to come to their team. Dude, it just kind of made me think of like Behind the Beat, which I know you're a huge fan of. If the Bruins have a budget for Behind the Beat, how do the Red Sox not have the same show? Like it would be a massive success to do it. And you just saw it. Maybe this was a test drive. Maybe they were like, hey, you know what? You guys do it. We'll see if people care. We know we already have like a crew with Nesson that does it for the Bruins. Maybe this spawns something where a Behind the Bee Red Sox version spawns. That would be really cool. But that's not really what this was. Couple of the other things that I wanted to hit on, I just have some quick bullet points here. Cassis, as advertised, he's just exactly who you expect him to be. It's more like you get to show the people in your life, like, see, he's exactly like I told you he was. I love seeing him chop it up with like Cutter and Giolito, because like kind of a little more like, you know, I don't want to say manly men, but a little more.
Definitely.
But yeah, they
don't
are.
paint their nails.
Yeah, they don't paint their nails, so they're manly men, and seeing him chop it up with them is good, and it's fun. I like that. The car clip that was going around right before it dropped of like Duran and Cassis like working on the car together.
I wouldn't say work together. I would say Cassis was yelling at Duran the entire time, and Duran was trying to help him.
So you would think Duran's over there trying to help Cassis get his car working. Duran's just working on his own car, and Cassis just comes over and starts telling him like, "Don't do that, don't do that," and then like calls AAA for it. It was a lot weirder to find out that that's Duran's car that he was working on, right? Isn't that a lot weirder?
There was one point where I was on Cassis' side when in the clip they just go, "You just start hitting it," and he just starts going. And I'm like, I wouldn't be thrilled if somebody just started doing that, being like, I'm semi-familiar with cars. So was Cassis' car broken down and Duran was just screwing around with it?
No, Cassis like walked out onto Van Ness, saw Duran working on his car, and was like, "You shouldn't touch that." But he's like, "I got it, thanks." And he's like, "Seriously, dude." They also cut this out of the clip. It was like the funniest part. So he's on the phone with them and he's like, "Hello, I have a car broken down outside of Fenway Park on Jersey and Van Ness Street. Could you get somebody to assist me, please?" "No." "Okay. Well, do you know who I could call?" I did call AAA. "Isn't this AAA? This is a limousine service." Okay, thank you. Like that was really good. There was this moment where he's like, "Oh, this is a limousine service," and he called them with the car trouble. That's wicked funny. They are an odd duo, and I really like seeing them. A lot of this was serious, dude. A lot of this was like tear jerking stuff, though. I thought it was going to be goofy and silly because of that car clip, but a lot of it was heavy. They really leaned on the emotional side of the game, and a lot of talk about um, uh, international players adapting to life here, about the struggles of international players getting visas to bring their families here. A lot of focus on Cam Boozer's story, which you wouldn't expect as a Red Sox fan who watched the season. You'd be like, oh, yeah, he was a carpenter and whatever. A lot of focus on that, which was
It's
cool.
a great story.
Big time. And it's one of those stories that like you have to see portrayed like this to appreciate after the fact and be like, oh, right. Yeah, no, that was crazy that he was hit by a car. He had Tommy John in college. Like he was a little league coach. And seeing him get the call, they got footage of him getting the call, which tearjerker. There's footage of his mom coming onto the field after his major league debut, which, good God, not a dry eye in the building. But one international player, dude, broke my fucking heart, dude. The Chronicles, the saga of Masataka Yoshida is a tragedy. It's a tragedy. Like, the reality of him unable to communicate with anybody around him other than his interpreter, and like they have like a Asian American team advocate or something like that. That's basically his English coach. And like those are the people he can talk to. End of list. And then he calls home. And that's it. And he calls home on a 12-hour, 13-hour time difference. Like he has kids back home. He has whatever. And to know as you're watching this and seeing him struggle, like the story doesn't get better. That we're not sitting here a year later, like it's gotten way worse. He's in Worcester. He's in Worcester and doesn't have a place here. No, he's not in Worcester now.
He's not in Worcester. He's at Fort Myers extended spring training. Cora was like, they were like, what's wrong with him? Again, mind you, this is a guy that played in spring training. They were like, he has good and bad days throwing. It's like, I feel like they have him throw like 100 balls from the outfield to home. And if he misses one, he throws it a little off center. They're like, oh, you don't look ready yet. Let's give this a second. Let's take another week. You know what? Let's go home tonight. We'll do the same thing tomorrow. See how you feel tomorrow. We don't need to rush this. We're in April. We just need to figure out how to find shit for you to do for most of the rest of the year till October.
Probably, yeah. How many years left on your contract? 2 more years. He was in Boston. He was taking BP before this series. Like he was there today. He took BP this morning. So like he's around. They have him all over the place. They had him in Worcester. They had him in Florida. They have him in Boston. He doesn't have a place to fucking play. Dude, once you like look at it like, with a little humanity, it's like, holy shit, what a horrible fate. Like, it sounds like a would you rather. Like, yes, you get to make millions of dollars. Yes, you get to play baseball for a living. You're not really going to play. You don't see your family. You're on the other side of the world. You can't talk to anyone. You can't go to a restaurant and order food. You don't know the language. No one's here to help you. You don't know the language. You can't communicate with anyone. No one's here to help you. And we don't have a place for you to play. And no one's here to help you. It's crazy, man. It's like a trap card. It's like one of those would you rather scenarios. And I feel horrible for him, man. I really do. And Doc didn't help. Doc made me feel worse for Masa. One thing that's in there that nobody is talking about is that Cora talks like really candidly about the Houston scandal.
Really?
Yeah. And I had never heard him do that. I don't know if I just missed that because it was, end of the 2020 season, beginning of 21. I guess, we all kind of tuned out as much as we could 2020. But the most candid I've heard him speak about it. I won't go into it and whatever. You can watch it for yourself. But that was shocking to me when it happened. And the last things here that I wanted to get off my chest after watching. Early on, they really made it seem like Tyler O'Neill was going to be a main character in this too, and I was like, oh, that's I don't know how much I care. It's like he's not here, and they quickly doubled back on that, and we're like, nope, never mind. We'll show him a little bit here and there, but not really. And hilarious how little certain people are in this. Like they knew I want nothing to fucking do with this. Namely, Kenley and Nick Pivetta. They are just not in this documentary. There are exactly 2 moments Nick Pivetta's face is on screen. And both of them he's walking by to get away. Like, it is so funny how much you can tell these guys were like, I want no fucking part of this. Yeah, miss you, Nick. Yep.
You left out like the best part of the documentary.
Oh. We were in the documentary.
Sort of.
Our voices are in the documentary. We're in it.
We're just the classic mean Boston media.
They did use us as the classic mean Boston media. And if I may, if I'm going to put my hand up here, I'll bitch and moan a little bit. There was a better place for that soundbite. This isn't even like saying like, oh, you took that out of context. No, we were talking shit about Bayo. But there's an episode that's about talking shit about Bayo and how much Bayo's struggling. Use it there. It's also like, I don't know. We didn't say anything super salacious. I just said, I think it might be a reasonable time for us to adjust our expectations for Brian Bayo. And you were like, yeah, he's getting hit hard.
I said his stuff is filthy, but he's getting hit hard. It looks filthy, but the results have not felt, he's getting hit hard. He's getting barreled. So, yeah, no, I think it was cool. It was cool the way they use it. Obviously, I never expected myself to be – I feel like we're pretty positive people in general, especially considering what we've had to cover the last few – we haven't gotten to cover a good team yet, not one single time. And so I feel like we were generally positive, which means we're probably overboard a little bit. We should be probably a little more realistic at times. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool that they threw us in there. It's kind of crazy that we didn't even know until you were watching, and you were just like, "Hey, man, we're in the dock." But yeah.
Without naming names here, I have heard that some players are not too stoked about some of the things that some other media people have said about them on the dock. So, which was bound to happen. Was bound to happen. Like those guys do it, like make an effort to try to stay away, or I think they do, right? Like we're told that they do. And then, they're going to go watch a documentary where a whole bunch of people are going to be like, they're interviewing media and asking the media questions about players, and they're going to answer honestly, and they're going to be candid. They're going to add a little sauce to it. And they're not too stoked, but that's to be expected. They're people. And they make it a big point to talk about how vulnerable they feel in the situation that they're in. So it makes total and complete sense. It's very congruent with what the doc talks about, that they would be not all too pleased. It's understandable. But I don't think there was anything super bad. I don't think anybody said anything that I think the craziest thing is kind of the way Jaron talks about his dad and his relationship with his dad. I was kind of sitting back like, we're just talking about this very casually. This doesn't sound okay. He's like, yeah, my dad was like really hard on me. He used to like throw baseballs at me, but like it made me stronger. And like he used to tell me like, you suck, like you aren't good enough. And like, but I think it made me like a stronger person. Like, no, I see what it made you, Jaron. It made you somebody really, 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 really insecure. and somebody who really, really, really wants to please people and really, really beats themselves up. It's like I'm watching the results in front of my eyes of what happened there. That made me really uncomfortable, the way he talked about his dad. Just like, yeah, and then even his mom was like, yeah, Jaren's dad was tough on him. It caused a lot of fights in our family, but I think it made him stronger. It's like, I don't think it made him stronger. I think it made him better at baseball, but I think it made him like really scared and really good at baseball. But here we are. That's I don't know, my takeaways. I think there's some great laugh out loud scenes. There's some scenes that, you know, will bring tears to your eyes. It's good. It's really good. It's the first couple episodes are 10 out of 10. And from there, it doesn't get bad. It's probably, I would give it an 8 out of 10. This whole thing on the whole. Really, really, really enjoyed it. Exceeded my expectations. All things considered, exceeded my expectations. Series sucked, though. Like the series they played.
Yeah.
They're 500 again.
Familiar territory.
Yeah, I don't like it.
That'll be fine.
Just something happened when I opened the standings. And I saw 7-7. I was like, no. War flashbacks a little bit. It is crazy. There's nothing that you can do early in the season that affects you all too much, other than, you know, a start like the Braves, you start 0-8, or a start like the Dodgers, and you start 8-0. Like, those are the only things that really affect you. Or, this is foreshadowing, you don't take care of business against shitty teams. Like, when you have matchups where you should win at least 2, maybe 3 games, and you don't take advantage of it, those are the ones you look back at. Like last year, I remember looking back and being like, you know, they're 6 games out. They lost those 3 games to the Pirates. Like, you know, boom, 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 right there. You're right back in it. They got swept by the Rockies. It's like there's so many things you can look back and be like, they should have won those. These Blue Jays games, I'm not going to look at and be like, they should have won them. I'm just going to look at it and be like, they played like shit then. This next series, you can't walk away from this with the Series L. This is one that, like, you will kick your ass if things don't go the way that you want them to down the stretch, that you'll look back at and be like, how the fuck did we lose to the White Sox? Like, these are the only times of the season that really matter. And it's so weird to be like, the White Sox series matters more. It does, because these are the ones that demand results. They're playing Chicago.
And we gotta do the series MVP.
No, we don't, because they lost.
But they won too.
No.
Yeah, they did.
They won 1.
Yeah, I mean, like, they won as well.
They won a game, yeah, but no, Yeah, that's it.
Oh. Then you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking we gotta do the pitching preview.
Oh, okay, folks, it is 3 games at the G-Spot. Game 1, and I can't even believe I have to say these names. It is Sean Newcomb versus Davis Martin. Woo! Davis Martin has a 4.71 ERA and 21 starts in his career, an expected ERA to start this season of 8.54. In those 21 career starts, Scott, exactly 1 quality start. Sean Newcomb is a guy. Game 2 is going to be Richard Fitz versus Martin Perez. Dickie Fitz with some even splits to start the year. 6 innings on 3 earnies at home, 6 innings on and 3 earnies on the road. Martin Perez's fastball is down to 88.4 miles per hour, and he's off to his best start in years. 4 hits and 1 run in his first 12 and a third innings, although those innings did come against the Twins and the Tigers. And Game 3 is going to be Garrett Crochet versus Shane Smith. Garrett Crochet faces off against his former dogshit club with a very casual 1.45 ERA in tow. We, as a fan base, should feel rude about this one. This feels genuinely fucked up to bring him back to Chicago to wipe his ass with his former team. Shane Smith makes his third career start. Dude sucks. And that is going to do it for your pitching preview. I mean what I said about Crochet. That it just feels fucking rude. It feels like we should give him the day. It's like, oh man, it just feels mean. It's like, yeah, here he is. Sorry we have to do this to you. I mean, thanks for him. I hope Kyle Teal is treating you guys well. But yeah, no, we're gonna wipe the floor with you guys. Sorry about that. Sorry. I don't even understand what the White Sox are. What the fuck are they doing? Like, what are they ever going to be? What are you planning? What are you building for? What's your plan here? Do you have one, or are you just like a farm system for teams that give a shit?
I tell you what, I don't feel like they're closer than they were last year. That's for sure. And they were horrible last year, like horrible, like the worst ever last year. So, don't know. I don't think they have a plan.
I don't think they do either. I think they are just seat of their pants, just doing it. It's a bummer. It's a bummer because like you look at like who the White Sox have drafted and developed, and you know who they could have if they signed every player that they, whatever. And it's insane.
If they just like retained everyone, you're saying?
Yeah, like what their rotation would look like. Like it's insane. So, is Kyle Teal in the bigs? I don't think he is, right? We would have heard about that.
We do have one prospect that's in the bigs, though. Making his debut against us. No.
Is Bobby?
No.
Who?
Chase. Chase Meadruff.
Really?
He got called up today. He's making his debut against us, I believe.
Wow. That's exciting. That's going to be something. Chase Meadroth, he just screams of a guy that like the real prospect heads loved. But like if you were anything short of like a real prospect head, you were like, yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever.
He's very square.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Good contact. The thing is, when contact's your main thing, that typically tends to decline. And if you don't have the power behind it, slap hitting second baseman with mid defense is not like the most enticing thing in the world.
Kyle Teal through 11 games in AAA Charlotte, slashing 191, 292, 381 for a 673 OPS. He's 16 total bases in 11 games. Yeah.
He's good.
Who is the catcher for the Chicago White Sox?
Oh, speaking of, we got a Chicago White Sox catcher.
Oh, yeah. Scared the shit out of me when he came up to bat. It's like, who the fuck are you?
Wait, no, not him.
Who you talking about?
We signed Yasmani Grandal.
Yes. Yes, we did. How old is he now? 36-year-old Yasmani Grandal. 72 games in Pittsburgh last year. 228, 304, 400, 95 OPS plus. His last positive OPS plus season was in 2021. What do his defensive metrics look like?
Oh, don't even look it up. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Listen.
Don't look it up?
Guy. Listen, Joey, this is a guy that has a worse arm than me right now.
Are you?
Oh, this has been the case for years.
CS above average, first percentile. Pop time, first percentile. Sprint speed, first percentile.
Yeah, he has nothing in the tank athletically. He is a free bit. Like, this is a guy, He's a guy. Remember when we played the Yankees and we stole like 7 bases? This is the type of guy that you would do that against. And I don't know
we
why
actually
he's
stole
here.
9 bases. It was in the dock. We stole 9 bases against
Okay.
Trevino.
Well, it would have been worse had Yasmani Grandal been at the helm there. He is
Who am I thinking of? Who
probably
is
the Scoball.
yeah.
He's fine.
He's fine. Scared the hell out of me today. Blake Sayball. Blake Playball.
He's got some experience. That's really all I could say.
He's got some experience. He's got 122 games of experience.
Yasmani
Who is the
Grandal
catcher
can't play
for the
Boston Red Sox?
Hmm?
I don't know. Who cares? The answer is who cares?
Matt Tice is the
It's not
catcher
that
for the White Sox.
no one's in
That
his way. It's just a matter of they want to develop him on a track, like that. You give him a couple months at AAA, and then they'll call him up in May. They're probably just going to wait till he gets an extra year eligibility because I don't think they care that they don't unless they think he can win Rookie of the Year. There's no point in calling him up before that point.
Yeah. Matt Tice is the catcher that is.
He was on the Angels.
He looks like a Lego man. He was on the Angels.
Fun fact about that guy.
Those are some tough numbers. This is going to be brutal. Who's even leading? Who's oh my God. Who's doing anything on the White Sox? Anybody? Benny? Benny's having a good start to the season, hitting 290.
Love that.
Their DH hits 9th, which I don't think I've ever seen before. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that. You're the guy whose job it is to just hit, and we have you in the position where the worst hitter goes.
That's an extra bench player making the lineup. That's not a guy that's there to mash. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. 167. Yeah, nobody's really doing Benny. I mean, honestly, Benny is the guy.
Let's go.
So that's good for him. I mean, I would love to see Benny matter in baseball. And like, this is probably really the last year where that's like on the table. Oh no, my God, he's 30 years old.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Wow. That'll show what some struggling years will do, because I would have guessed that he was like 37 by now. Like, it feels like a lifetime since he's been here, but it also feels like, like he's past his prime. No, he's 30.
No, it's weird. It's weird what's happening to him. It has nothing to do with age. It's just a strange thing that happened to him. Verdugo, same thing. It's not an age thing. These contact hitters seem to just phase out. It's the strangest thing.
It makes you wonder the importance of coaching, Like, I don't know, somebody like Christian Campbell, who like does listen and adapt and whatever. Not to say that everybody doesn't try and learn from their coaches, but somebody who can apply it well. Somebody like Benny. You go somewhere else, and I guess his numbers aren't all too different from when he was
He's
in
just
Boston.
steadily lost power, which is so odd.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it hasn't had an OPS above 700 since 22. Yeah, and before that, just a steady decline from like 830s in Boston. Sad. Well, I'd love to see an all-star season from Andrew Benintendi. Besides that, I'm going to go ahead and say I think they do sweep. They do sweep this one. Game 1 is the only one that like maybe in question, but I don't think so. We could also real quick touch on Walker Buehler, maybe be having a good start, but he deserved better. he was actually looking okay, except for, he was getting tagged around a little bit, but averted some danger.
I don't know.
Would have liked to see him in this series. That would have been nice, because I feel like he needs that kind of reset. He needs to face like a White Sox lineup.
Yeah, I don't know how to formulate an opinion on him yet. I think this one was kind of a reset. I was at the point where entering today, that's entering Thursday. It's one of those things where I was like, if this is a bad start, like his trust meter is low for me, and it's early, but for him, it's just, is he metrically what he was before all these injuries? And the first 2 games, he didn't seem to have that like electricity. And I don't know that he did in this game either, if it was the cold or what it was, but he at least kind of, now I'm even more confused, and I'm not going to formulate an opinion yet. Let's give him a little more runway before I determine how I feel about this guy.
Yeah. Very fair. Very fair. Team Cy Young, look out. He's coming for it. All right, we will see you back here after the Red Sox sweep the White Sox in the beautiful south side of Chicago. You can follow us on the socials at ITM_pod. You can follow him at Scott Neville 46, just like how many runs the Sox are going to put up in this series. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. For Scott Neville, I'm Joey Copponi. Go Sox, kid.